Hello, and welcome to the Morning OJ, a show by and for youth where we get to share our thoughts about the world around us. Today, we want to welcome to the show a very special guest, Dr. Richard Myles Sr., who is the CEO, chairman, and founder of the Minor Football League, a globally recognized professional minor league system for professional football. Welcome to the Morning OJ, Dr. Myles. So, of course, I'm interested to learn about an organization that supports young Black males, being I myself am a young Black male. So let's begin with you telling us about your organization and when and how you created it.
Absolutely. The MFL was started back in 1993, and we are the laboratory of change. And what I mean by that is we want to bring former players from the field to the front office. You know, that other league don't want to give people of color an opportunity. As great as we made that league there, we yet to still get GM position, head coaches jobs. These are some of the things that have been unreachable in terms of for African Americans, no matter how great we can play the game for them, but we can't be in leadership roles. So I thought that's where the MFL comes in. The MFL is for the people and by the people, you know, especially for the economic development of your city and state. So I started this league, started with one franchise because I want them to differentiate the difference between semi-pro, which is no such thing as semi-pro. Either you're pro or you're not. It was just the ignorant term people use to justify sandlot football. And minor league football, minor professional football. And I started, the first one I started was the Washington Chiefs. And I took them all over the country to play these so-called semi-pro teams champions. And we would beat them real bad. And the first thing people ask, well, what team is this? What league is this? I said, the MFL. They said, what's that? I said, the minor football league. Well, how can we be a part of it? I said, you can't, you know, this is the league that's owned by me. And what I'm gonna do, I've been doing feasibility studies for years, trying to find where we're gonna place these franchises. So that was a little undertaking, but you know, we got things going. And then I use former players to come aboard as far as coaching, because I can't tell you how to do something if I've never done it before myself. So, you know, that's something that I look forward to doing. And then we had to put other elements together, like beyond the field, because even ball players, you can't play this game forever. Then what? Then what you gonna do after it? So these are some of the things that the MFL started doing. Then I also didn't want to leave out. I try to touch everything at risk youth, you know what I mean? So I had programs I designed: no thugs, no drugs, early youth offenders program, conflict resolution. These are programs that reach the young men that feel like, you know, football is not for everybody, just like school. Although we want them to get an education, it's just like college. And I tell young men, it's not that you're not good enough to play in the NFL, it's not enough room. You know, a lot of people don't understand that. You have thousands of colleges around the country, but what, only 16, 32 NFL teams. So you can see that, you know, that crop can be very short. And then the life expectancy of most NFL players for 1 to 3 years. That's it. So these are some of the things that keep in mind that I wanted to make sure when we start the MFL, we want to teach people generational wealth, which has been eluding people of color for a long time. And we want them to, you know, it's all right to play sports, but to own it is something else. And that's something that we, as a people of color, don't know anything about, because I tell people all the time, you know, generational wealth is very important. And we don't understand that. You know, you get some people, what they say, I worked 50 some years, I'm getting ready to retire, I'm glad. You could live off 2 checks, how you gonna live off 1? But you know, that's the mentality we have, because we don't own anything. So owning something is very important, and I want people of color to understand. So people like yourself, young millennials, we need you guys, because you have kids in school, young men in school for sports management. You know what I mean? And they don't, then we want to teach them about money. We don't understand wealth. We really don't. I always say it was bad for a guy to go buy $800 tennis shoes, but then what? You know what I mean? So these are some of the types of things that I try to be more teaching as opposed to just coaching. You know, coaching is one thing. And then we want to give these guys opportunity here, coaching, GM, marketing, PR, you know, different aspects of the sports that we can give these guys internship with the MFL. And, you know, we're across the country, 32 franchises now. And plus we're putting 16 franchises in Africa. So it's a process, but we've been around for 28 years. We lasted all these over so-called XFL with all this money, the Alliance Football League with all this money, but you notice they're gone. The MFL still here. So in saying that, it's just that because, you know, you have to believe in each other, and we just don't believe in one another, you know, and that's something that has to stop because, you know, I'm 66, you young, we trying to teach y'all now, although you do have people of color are very successful. And they say, we overcame. No, you overcame. What about the rest of us? You know what I mean? And I'm one to try to bring people along as I go. And believe me, by no means, I want you to think that I have all the answers, because I don't. But I feel like, you know, with people like yourselves, bringing young people along, that we can educate them in terms of what we're doing, not just for the MFL, but business as a whole. We want them to understand business, not business, you know what I mean, but business. And it's a difference.
That's honestly really amazing. Like, I really like, it sounds how, yes, it's football, but you're really focused on like creating a foundation, you know, for these young men, you know, you're talking about generational wealth, marketing, business skills, things that translate to other areas of life that's not just relegated to football. And, you know, you said 28 years, right? I feel like
28 years.
Your longevity really speaks for itself. So I really want to ask you, like, where do you find players? Like, are you looking at high school, college? Like, around what age are they?
Well, we like to get guys that's 18 and over, because like I say, most kids going into college at 18, because, you know, the NFL, we want young guys. We get guys from Division I school, powerhouse schools, but you have to understand too, and they need to understand, if a kid went to a Power 5 conference and he got that scholarship, you probably been there 4 years and never played it down. So that's bad. So if an NFL team said, okay, you went to Alabama, well, we want to get him, right? But now you get out there in the NFL camp and you've been exposed because you really didn't play. You know what I mean? So that's why, you know, the MFL is here, and we want to teach these guys. We want to develop players, because you have to develop a lot of guys, and some guys are ready and some guys not. And I wanted to take this myth away from these young men. I feel like you've been playing football all your life. You get in college and you did 4 or 5 years. Now you come home, you're not in the NFL. So your peers look, oh man, you ain't do nothing. You ain't make the league. And then you shouldn't beat the guys up like that. You know, one in what, 20, 30 million that you're going to make the NFL. So, you know, we provide the opportunity that you don't find outside of college or the other league. That's what the MFL is about.
That's really powerful, because that's a good point. Like, I hear, you know, in my own life, I do know many people, I have friends who that was their goal, to go to school and make the NFL. And, you know, like you said, literally not everyone makes it, but you don't really see what happens to them after that. You, like, when people are supporting them while they're going for the NFL, you don't really see that same support if they don't make it, and like what comes next. And so that's really powerful what you're doing. And so with that, if someone wanted to get interested, like what should they do? Do you have a website, or is there a certain criteria that they have to meet?
Absolutely. We have an old saying, if they don't bite when they're puppies, they won't bite. And what I mean by that, you know, we want kids, we want ball players. And then football, because you're a great ball player, don't necessarily make you a great coach. And some of the average ball players make great coaches. And I say that to say, you know, we're on all the social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Our website is mflishere.com. You can contact us. And we want to make sure we don't want kids to cross the country. We want kids to stay in the areas that they are in and make those franchises that's there. So we look for, and not only just young men, we want women to sit at the table. We don't want them to serve us anything. We want them to sit at the table. We like to get women general managers. We want to bring them to the table. It's a place for them there. Also, we have dance teams. So we have all these different areas the same as men. We don't cast them to play football, but it's just like dance team. HBCUs don't get no love from that other league, or to not know it. But yet and still, they look beyond the NFL. Why? We're going to give you an opportunity that they're not going to give you. You know what I mean? So these are the types of things that we as people of color have to learn to embrace what we got going on here. Embrace this. This is a heck of an opportunity. Remember, it took the NFL 100 years to get where they're at. But more importantly, we want people to have an opportunity for ownership. You understand? These franchises are for sale. And those initials you see, MFL, we want people to understand what that really stands for. Money for life if you own one. You know what I mean? That's what the MFL stands for, money for life. So we want to give guys opportunity, and we want people of color, especially young people, to understand, don't keep thinking if it ain't white, it ain't right. Don't believe that. We've been under that illusion for a long time, and it's Black people that are doing tremendous things out here. And the only reason they don't get credit for it because they're always selling it. You know what I mean? You're selling it. We get validated by if a white person buy it from us. The MFL is not for sale. Only to people of color. And I say that, and a lot of people say, well, you can't say that public. I'm gonna say what I want because this is mine. It's all right for them to say a lot of different things, but as soon as you say something, you anti-white. I'm not anti-nothing. I'm just about my people of color. And that's hard. We're gonna have too many struggles amongst ourselves that we even think about what somebody else think about us in terms of that.
That's a good slogan. The MFL is not for sale. You should put that on a t-shirt. But
yeah, it's not. But it stands for money for life if you own one.
And so with your business or with this organization being so diverse in what you do and what you provide for just young Black people, period, men and women, do you consider yourself like a coach, a sports manager? Actually, I have a cousin who's a sports manager, by the way. But like, what field would you consider yourself in this whole organization?
Well, I've done teaching in my lifetime. I'm assistant dean too now. I'm finished with that, but I feel like I'm a coach, a life coach. If I would put myself in the box, and it's hard to put me in anything. I have coached before college. I coached high school, youth football. I've done it all. But I just wonder, it's time for us to teach the young millennials what's going on, because you guys have the ring right now, but you have to know what directions to come. And sometimes we tend to think that the grass is greener on the other side, and it's not. The playing field will never be level for Black people, never. And we have to understand that. The MFL is trying to make the playing field level, but you got to understand, don't look for it over there. We keep thinking that people, they're smarter than we are, because people will take their word for something before they take yours, even your own people. And you'll find out as you get older, our biggest obstacle is us. It's us. And it's a shame that it's that way, but that don't mean you give up. You just keep pushing. But I used to tell people years ago, the MFL gonna go with or without you. It'll be easier with you, but nevertheless, we'll go without you. And a lot of people say, they call me and the first thing they ask me is this for real? This can't be for real. Is this true? Or when I was down in Florida, we flew down there and the media was down there and the white reporter tried to be smart. She said, this is nice, but I've never heard of the MFL, Dr. Myles. I said, well, China got 1 billion people, and I guarantee you not one of them ever heard of you. So what did that mean? Oh no, she didn't mean like that. Yes, she did. It's just that I'm gonna check you at the door. You know, you try to be condescending, but I come back with, well, why are you here? I didn't call no press conference or anything like that. So we, you know, I thank God for social media right now, because mainstream media will not want you to know about this at all. You know it, and I know it. But now you got social media. People worry about TV. TV is the past, man. You know what I mean? This social media, because you know why? What we're doing right here now, people are seeing around the world. Now, TV can't give you that, you know. So, you know, I tell young people like yourself, you know, chances are you take chances when you close your eyes at night, right?
Right.
It's only by the help of the Lord that that angel touch you the next morning. And that's taking the chances. I always say one good thing about the MFL. I don't know if you had the opportunity to go to my website when you eat, when after the show, hope you go look at it. The MFL, I always say, documentation be conversation. You know what I mean? And I tell people, we're not going to talk about what we're going to do. This is what we already have done.
Mm.
Now, a lot of people can't say that. You know what I mean? You know how they always say, talk is cheap, action show. Well, take a look at us. It'll shock you. It'll shock you. And yes, people of color. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not the Negro Leagues now. I mean, people of other ethnicities that, you know, you can try out for the team. We'll welcome you. But this is not for sale in terms of, you know, they're going to run it. There's people of color here. And we can do things just as good as anybody else or better. But we just lack that opportunity. And I want these young people, you know, that see your show and they understand you ask for an opportunity. Well, here it is. There's no excuse there.
No excuse. No, really, because it's really that platform that you're providing, which is, it's like the connecting, that bridge between where they are and where they could be one day. So that's really amazing what you're doing. So actually, that actually leads me into my next question, which is, what other opportunities do you see going forward, or have you seen that your members of the organization go into? Like, what other careers do they follow? You know, I'm sure some of them do pursue, obviously, that career in the football world, but you were explaining how diverse it is and all the different skills and knowledge that you're pouring into these youth.
Absolutely. And like I said, some of these guys are coming from Division I schools. Some of them have their degrees, and some people, we encourage people, young people, that's, yeah, they 19 and they come out and say, okay, I had that opportunity to go to college, Dr. Myles. I'm gonna say, well, let us help you get into school, because we want you to, everybody should have that opportunity. And then don't get me wrong, college is not for everyone. You know, it's just not. And I used to tell guys in school and young ladies in school and college, and you know, they kind of, oh man, he messing up, he gonna have a hard time. And you know what I used to tell them? You're gonna end up working for that guy. You know, why you say that? I'm getting straight A's, right? That's what you have to depend on. But what happens if you don't remember that degree? You got thousands of other people had the same degree.
Right.
What separates you different? And I tell people, when they tell people, well, you don't have no experience, we'll give it to you. You get experience here. We give you the opportunity. Broadcast journalists, you know, we have the MFL network, radio, TV. We have that available. So when people always talk about, you have to come up, and I tell people all the time, concept will make you millionaire, because people with money don't have a concept, and people with a concept don't have money. What happens? The people with the money buys the concept. The only problem with you, just sold it out now. So see, if this guy come up with a concept, you getting straight A's and everything, but he came up with a concept that you would have to come to him for a job, because he got what you don't have. You have the A's, but he have a concept. And remember that concept.
Because that's the thing, things like school, they're not preparing you to be that millionaire,
No.
be that business owner. They're preparing you to be a worker who just knows how to, sit there and follow orders. But so with your program, do you have like a favorite success story, like one of those members that you just look back at them and you're like, you're the exact like picture of what we made this organization for?
Well, Aisha Braidford, she's the state's attorney out there. She got her first job here. I gave her first job. Now, a lot of people, she handled our dance team when she came out of college. And she'll tell you right there, here go Dr. Myles. Oh, I know Dr. Myles gave me my first job. And so we have a lot of people, success stories, and that came through here. But I don't want, I don't need to be validated by, nobody tell me this. That makes me feel good knowing that you have a lot of people come here and they go on to do bigger and better things. Like I said, football, just like in journalists, we have some great people that come through here. We have some great people that yet to come through here. So, we are the future. That's why I say the MFL is the laboratory of change, meaning change, and even this country, it's changing, slow, but it's changing. And that's something I tell everybody. It's one thing you can't stop, it's change. No matter how hard you try to prevent it, it's happening. It's going to happen. Ain't nothing you can do about it. I think of us as the laboratory of change, and we want to put people in position to do well. Don't think of us as just football. No, marketing, PR. We need that. And we want to teach you, you have young people like yourself have bright ideas, but be honest, a lot of people don't want to listen. They want you to do what they want. Oh, no, we do it this way. The difference with the MFL, we want all you got. Okay, let's try it. Let's look at it. You know what I mean? Let's look at it. Because you're going to always get 1,000 no's in your life. All you need is that one yes.
You're a very quotable person. Like the way you talk, you're really good with those one-liners that really, like the kind of things you tweet, you put on Facebook. You're very quotable. Like you just said, the MFL is the laboratory for success. Like that just came off the top of your head. That's good. That's really good.
Well, it's just true because, I tell people I'm the MFL. You know what I mean? I'm the MFL. 17 grandkids and stuff. I tell people, get used to Myles, the last name. Get used to it, but it ain't about me. It's about us. And when we understand that, then the better off we'll be. We can do so much together. I had very controversial ways about me, like my books. I'm getting ready to, put out. Yes, I'm going to be an author soon. And the 3 books that I have is, they're so powerful, they scare people. The first book is The Black Race for Sale, No Takers. Everybody want to act black, but they don't want to be black, right? They want to imitate us, but that's it. Then the other book is, The Greatest That Never Was. Because if you don't have white people to validate what you're doing, then you really never exist, right? Think about when you're born. If there are people, the government officials or whatever the state you're in don't sign that, then you really wasn't born. You don't exist. And when you die, who signs it? Okay, the government officials signed that you dead. You understand? So the book is that second book, like I say, it's called that you never exist. The Greatest That Never Was. And then the third book is the Welcome to the United Snakes of America, home of the Constitution. The con, not the Constitution, but the con, because all of us are con when you look at it. All of it is. But we have to decipher and go through this jungle here. We've been lost in this wilderness of North America for what, 400 some years? I tell people all the time, I'm just telling the truth. You're talking about some people that colonize your race, and you ask the same individuals that educate you. How educated is that? Think about it. Yeah. And never let somebody tell you what you can't do. I was one of those so-called at-risk youth, and I was always controversial in terms of you couldn't just tell me something. I want to know facts. But you had people that say, oh, you're a troublemaker. Oh, just go along with them. No, I'm not going to say the wall is green if it's blue. I'm just not going to do that. Then, well, you just want to be trouble. Well, I guess I'm going to be that individual. So you see, It's hard to be what you really want to be in life. It takes no effort to be a bum. You just don't do nothing.
Right.
Remember that. You just don't do nothing. But if you're gonna make a difference, you're gonna have and I would like to say this to young people. You have three people in your life you have to be very mindful of, young man. One is your family members, your mother, your father, and people close to you. They will support you no matter what you do. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Then that second person is that other individual is a curious person. The only problem with him being curious, you could take him either way because he's just curious about you. You know what I mean? But last and more importantly, you got that hater. You ain't did nothing to him. He just don't like you. He just hates you. Matter of fact, he'll pay to see you fail. So when you look at that and you hear people use the term, keep your enemies close. If you know he's not right, why would you keep him close to you?
Right.
You keep him as far from you as you can. So I tell people that so you understand, stop listening to what everybody tell you. You know, life is what you make it. Ain't nothing gonna fall out the sky, you know, and to be what you really want to be, it's hard. It's hard. Because if it was easy, everybody'd be doing this. Even what you're doing, it's not easy. A lot of people can't get in front of a camera. You may think you can. And some people say, well, what about acting? Acting is easy. Why you say that? You've been acting all your life. Now you're just getting ready to get paid for it. So black people been acting all our lives. Think about it.
No, that's a good point. I'm sure you just blew some people's minds with that one. But so clearly, I know for a fact, our audience can see how much wisdom you have. And I want to say, you said you were 60?
No, I'm 66.
66. You have 66 years worth of wisdom and life experience. And so do you mind sharing, especially in the development of your organization, like any failures you had that, you learned from and were able to grow from?
Absolutely. Anybody tell you, successful people will tell you if they fail more times than they succeeded. But it's not a question whether you're going to get knocked down or not. You have to ask yourself, are you going to get up or are you going to stay down? You know, everybody is different. Some people, you hear people have a term that they got some oomph with them. Some people have, have the gift of gab. And some people just determined. I've been knocked down a lot. I spend a lot of money, cost me a marriage, because sometimes you feel like, wait a minute, I can go as far as I can go with you. I love you, but I can't do this. But that don't mean that I stop. I got to keep forward because remember, we standing on people's shoulders. One day y'all going to have to stand on mine, and one day somebody can stand on yours. We only do a lot of the things that we're doing now because of some people, Black people, right, that stood up. So we all here when we're playing parts, really. And I tell people, I don't have all the answers. I'm not going to ever tell somebody I do. As much as you might respect me and you think, I thank you for that, but I don't have all the answers, and anybody tell you they do, they lying. But I feel we can find a solution to whatever problem we may have, if any at all, but together.
Well, Dr. Myles, thank you for this amazing, informative interview. We at The Morning OJ would like to thank you for supporting young males and females in pursuing their dreams. And to our viewing audience, you can learn more about Dr. Myles and the MFL at www.mflishere.com. And as always, remember to drink some OJ in the morning. It has lots of vitamin C. Thank you.